Governor Mike Braun signs an executive order banning trans women from competing in women's college sports.
The governor doing this just one day after the Senate in Washington, D.C. blocked a federal ban. Let's get right to News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist. He's live at the State House now with what else this order does. Garrett.
The governor's orders require the state to only recognize two genders, male and female. Not only does the order ban transgender female athletes, he also ended the use of non-binary gender designations on driver's licenses. The governor signed two orders. The first directs state educational institutions to comply with a 2020 Title IX directive that prohibited transgender women from competing on women's college sports teams.
Biological sex is written in our DNA, replacing the scientific fact of biological sex with the ever-shifting, self-reported idea of gender identity has real consequences. Puts women in danger in female-only places like prisons. It destroys opportunities for women in sports.
Braun's order comes as lawmakers are pushing legislation that would write such a ban into state law. Both the NCAA and the NAIA, which sanctions small college teams, now ban transgender women from women's teams.
Things can ebb and flow there. This is to make sure, just like in K through 12, we're paralleling the same thing once you get out of high school.
A companion order requires the executive branch to recognize only the genders of man and woman as defined by biological sex at birth when interpreting and applying state law. Among other things, this means Indiana will no longer offer an X option for gender designation on driver's licenses. Those who hold such licenses may keep them, but they won't be able to renew them with that marker. And the state will now challenge any effort to change the sex designation on one's birth certificate.
If we now have state policy that mandates that they explicitly don't reflect who transgender people are, that puts the health and well-being of transgender people at risk, and it makes it hard for transgender folks in our state to just go about living their day-to-day lives.
Transgender rights groups say Braun's orders are based on ideology, not science.
This has never been about protecting women. If our state wanted to protect women, if they wanted to protect women in sports, they would have been doing things like being certain that women's teams have the same funding as men's teams, which makes it obvious that this is about coming after folks who are gender diverse.
The orders take effect immediately. The ACLU tells me it's too soon to say what kind of legal challenges might arise. Live at the State House, I'm Garrett Berquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.